Welcome back to Heartbeats Vanity, guys. We have another Chris Hansen interview highlight for you guys. On this one, an ex-moderator for Onision's forum sites, 𝕊ike, is explaining some of the ins and outs of the behavior she saw that Onision ignored during the times she was a moderator for his forum. I want to give my personal opinion on every person who has come on one of the Chris Hansen interviews. I think it is extremely vitally important to get all sides, whether that be harassment via cyberbullying, cyber harassment, whether that be the misuse of his forum sites and ignoring his moderators and their experiences, or that be experiences with people he has met in person. I also want to take a second and welcome you if you're new to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video, and let's just roll right into it, guys. At this point in the interview, 𝕊ike is describing some disturbing behavior she saw in the forum that she was either bringing to Onision himself or moderating herself.
You were essentially seeing the internal investigations here, what was going on, and people would do something appropriate.
Yeah. So I could see private chats as well as the public chat.
And what were some of the things that started to bother you?
The main thing I saw there that's left a lasting effect is I saw someone in a private chat with a 14-year-old, and it was, she admitted to being 14. This wasn't a case of a mistaken age. The chat there, he was, kind of love bombing her, kind of like how Greg does to his victims. He was asking her for nude pictures, and she didn't want to give them.
So this was a known adult in the forum.
Yeah, from
a guy known to people, right? And he was a known adult approaching someone who clearly was 14 years old and asking for nude photos.
And she understandably didn't want to send them. And I remember I actually came across the logs. It wasn't just in one instance, it was across days. So like, let's say across 3 different days, he had been messaging her. And, he was telling her, like, you need to trust me and all of this usual stuff. And I still remember the moment I saw her message in reply to him saying, I've sent them. So this was obviously
I've sent them.
Sorry?
I've sent them. The 14-year-old photos.
Yeah. And this wasn't on the site. They had obviously been in contact off the site, whatever way that was, I don't know. But that moment, like, I still remember the sinking feeling of thinking, it's too late now. There's nothing I can do about that other than ban that predator.
What did you do?
Sorry?
What did you do?
Well, banned him. I could have banned IPs at the time, but there's ways of getting around that. So banned his profile, banned the IPs associated with it, and that.
So as you heard, 𝕊ike could see not only the chats going on publicly within the forum, but also private chats that are not necessarily public. I want to make it clear that I did not know how forums work. I still do not know how forums work. I've never participated in Onision or any forum for that matter. So it's interesting to me to know that you can actually, as a moderator, see the inside of private chats. In my opinion, as a moderator, if you have ever been a moderator for something like Discord or a YouTube channel, like for live stream chats, if you guys see sometimes I go live, sometimes I have like the little moderators have like the little blue highlight to their name and the little wrench right next to their name. You have an obligation, not necessarily an extreme obligation, but I'm sure on forum sites a little more, but you do have an obligation to sort of point out or get rid of malicious behavior, malicious intended behavior. And so 𝕊ike did everything she was intended to do as a moderator, especially I'm sure for a forum. She went to Greg, she told him about some very, very disturbing behavior that she saw. And it is up to the owner site, the YouTube channel owner, the Discord owner site to then make a, executive decision.
There was another time where a known sexual offender had come onto the website. I remember it caused a bit of drama because there was this man who he had made this video thanking someone called Greg, and he had all of a sudden showed up on the forum. And obviously, you know, we were thinking, so he was saying he was thanking Greg for supporting him. And we were thinking, why is this guy here? And why is he talking about
And
Greg?
this was a known sex offender?
Yeah. So I can't remember his name, but he was a registered sex offender. And this was known about him.
And yet he was welcome on Greg's forum, on Onision's forum.
He came along. He wasn't welcome in my eyes. So like I banned him immediately, but I wanted more information from Greg. Like, is this guy actually associated with you? Because I'm not okay with that. And I'll never forget, like I still have the email thread where I emailed Greg asking him, you know, who is this guy? And he was so uninterested in even answering me, which makes no sense to me, because if anyone had ever asked me what's my association with a registered sex offender, you bet your ass I'm going to be telling you like I have nothing to do with them.
What did that say to you about Gregory Jackson, Onision?
I don't have words for him. Honestly, I don't have words for him. I don't want to say insane, because insane leaves him off, but there's something seriously wrong with him. Seriously wrong with him.
Did this forum become a spot for predators to try to groom some of Onision's underage fans?
Yeah, it had to have been. You know, like, here was a guy that was making videos that were appealing to increasingly younger audiences. Obviously, his fan base, you know, are young teenagers, and a lot of them are females. Why wouldn't you? If you were looking for easy targets, why would you skip over that website?
But do you think Greg had a responsibility to police these forums or to do something about this activity, or was this just a natural result of this ungoverned, almost ungovernable format?
He had a responsibility. His name was on it.
As I have went over this before, any seasoned YouTuber knows how to go to the statistics on their watch page inside of their YouTube Studio Creator app, or even on the settings on the web page itself, and they can go see which continent, you know, their channel is most viewed on, the age range of the people who view their channel, the type of content that gets the most views, so on and so forth. So when Erica states that she knows that Onision knows that the age range of his channel viewers are primarily teenagers and they're mostly female, she's not kidding with that, because that's the truth. That is absolutely Onision's fan base, what is mostly made up of it. So as a moderator, she sees somebody that should definitely not be on the forum site, interacting on the forum site. She bans that person. I'm sure she banned the IP address as well. And she goes and contacts Greg. Greg could not be bothered in the slightest. Then she discovers that she knows that there was a video made in thanking Greg for supporting him. The simple fact to me that he did not bother to reply, bother to even address anything, show concern, while he knows the type of audience he has, and he clearly could put two and two together as if she did, right? I am very, very concerned about that. That is condoning somebody that is registered as somebody who definitely should not be on a forum site with young, under the age individuals, all right? To me, there's a reason he didn't want to address it. Whatever his reasoning was, he essentially condoned the behavior going on that his moderators were seeing. We did see this with Medium Rare's experience on the Chris Hansen interview. We saw a lot of things and heard a lot of things that had went on behind the scenes that were very concerning. This being yet another moderator, Erica, is obviously, she has seen a lot. She has witnessed a lot. She tried to moderate as much as she could and then bring the attention to the forum owner, which is exactly what she should do. At this point, a healthy forum owner in the mindset of knowing right from wrong would absolutely be outraged by this and completely start to begin to try to make the server more safe. That's my thinking. Whenever there's something that goes on in my Discord, right? and it's brought to my attention by any moderators. I assess the situation the best that I can, and the end result, after I have talked to who I need to talk to and seen what I need to see, I make an executive decision on who to ban, who to kick out, and how to make the server safer. That is what I do. That is my attempt to not co-sign any of this negative, malicious behavior. When you have an entire audience of very young individuals, and not all of them are under the age, but most of them, as you see, who view your YouTube channel, in Greg's situation, they're being put in a dangerous place, and you are blatantly ignoring someone who is registered on an offender list. To me, I believe that the access that some of these dangerous people knew to gain through joining this forum site came from some of the videos that Greg would put out, rating girls' photos and their body types, knowing that you can clearly see that some of them are very young, very, very, very young. Essentially, I think there's no way he couldn't have known that he was giving a certain target to certain people, which I think is exactly why, in my opinion, he ignored his moderators coming to him with very concerning behavior. That to me says enough right there. Cancel his YouTube channel, cancel any platform that he's using, because he's clearly in support of this type of behavior, and that is wrong. The sick-minded people that have these tendencies know exactly how to slide under the radar. That is why they get away with so much for so long, until it's finally so obvious that they can be legally prosecuted because of this. I see Greg representing this type of behavior as well. The sliding under the radar, the snaking around. And not only that, I see Kai doing it too. Now, I know Kai wasn't always there during the forum, right? But you see over time his behavior imitating these tendencies.
To someone who was underage, yeah. They admitted that, and obviously I banned him straight away, but I emailed Greg and I said, there has to be something, there has to be a way we can take this further. And again, uninterested, and I remember, because it's not my jurisdiction, obviously I'm in Ireland, I remember looking up resources for the FBI and sending them on to Greg, is there a way we can use this online reporting? And he was like, all we have is an IP, what can we do? Uninterested.
How many times do you figure you went to Greg to say, look, there's a problem on this forum? There
are to be honest, those times that I'd gone to him, that was all. He didn't care. He didn't care. But also, it's so crazy because I think it was so normalized on the forum that it was almost, it takes a while to step out of it and realize how messed up it is.
Did this forum become a haven for children?
Quite easily, yeah. And to be honest, I probably didn't know half of it. There's probably a lot more stories there that I was not aware of at all.
I guess that begs the question, if you saw all this, what was going on that you didn't see?
Yeah, exactly. I fear to know.
Was there one incident, one thing you saw that made you say, I can't do this anymore, I got to get out of here, it's out of control?
There wasn't just one in particular, but there was a culmination of his crazy videos. The majority of the user base, the majority of the regular user base on his forum didn't even like him. It was a place to hang out, so there was genuine friendships made there among the chaos. But it's left a lasting effect. I have a 7-year-old son, and I won't upload video or pictures of him even on my personal Facebook, purely due to that forum.
This had an impact on you, this experience?
Say again, sorry?
This experience had an impact on you?
Yeah. And, seeing so much of the aftermath now, it's, I feel in part guilty that there wasn't more that I could have done. who knows how much the forum contributed to his access to young females or anybody. And it's honestly, it's stunning to have been involved in that and seeing it all before you now. It's insane.
What shocks you most about what we now know about Onision?
Sarah's story it's crazy, you know. I don't even know what to say about it. And hearing Shiloh speak up about what actually went on, because I would have been on the forums like regularly while Greg's life was unfolding, and it's just crazy to see the real truth of it, not his version.
What I found very commendable about Erica's moderation and her actions was the fact that she even went as far as to looking up resources in a completely different continent to try to bring those resources to Greg himself to say, hey, is there anything that we can do to protect the people in your forum, because I'm seeing a lot of really bad behavior. He didn't want anything to do with that as well. Didn't have any care of the world. That speaks volumes as to his intention on that forum, in my opinion. I also want to apologize for having to cut small parts of what Chris Hansen was saying out. I did my best to label exactly what the words were to avoid being completely shut down by the algorithm. Due to trying to bring awareness, I understand why they would put those words on the algorithm in protection of children who use YouTube. Even though there is a children's app, some things can slip through. That has been a big issue. Regardless, I do want to comply with that so this can actually reach people and bring awareness, versus it being completely shut down, unfortunately. And then you hear Erica describe the fear that she felt and has felt for some time, knowing that if she saw these things, imagine what she didn't see, what she didn't catch, what maybe another moderator caught before her, and somehow it got erased or deleted, and then maybe, you know, it was also ignored. That fear, I can only imagine, weighs heavy on her shoulders and any of the moderators in this forum. I personally put myself in her position the best that I can with the knowledge that she has given, and I myself would feel so horrible. But I do want to reiterate that she did what she could do. She contacted the server owner. She reported it. She banned whoever she was able to ban, and she made it a priority to do so. When she went to Greg, aka Onision, she realized that she felt like he did not care because he was not responding to her with very serious stuff. And I'm sure that was super frustrating for her. And, you know, now she references her life as it stands today and how she is afraid to put her own child on the internet, which is very intelligent of her to do, especially knowing the experience that she had. I can relate to this parenting decision that she had because of some experiences I've had on YouTube with an NX community and certain people. I won't name them because I don't want to give them any attention. But the thing is I have chosen to remove my own family from the internet. Unfortunately, there are people out there on the internet with very, very bad intentions and intentions to harm you and intentions to intimidate you, intentions to share your information around, try to find information on you to then send it to other people to harm you. And that has personally been an experience I've had. It's unfortunate. It's disturbing. So I've had to make some personal life choices to no longer dive into family vlogs or post on Instagram or those things like that, because it's just safer that way for me. It's like something that makes me feel more comfortable. And it all came from going through experiences that were very scary, very damaging, and still to this day frighten me. Sometimes becoming aware is through personal experience, and then sometimes it's through other people using their personal experience to share it with you. And that's why I value the Chris Hansen interview so much, because there are personal experiences hard to share for each person who goes up there, I'm sure, and does an interview, but they do it, I know deep down, to help protect other people from this. And that to me is the most valuable thing of all.
Now, what did you think of the whole story back when it was happening, when he was taking off on Shiloh and blaming them and coaxing them into, coaxing the audience into thinking that, you know, he was the victim in all this?
Yeah, unfortunately, I totally believed him. As stupid as it was, you know, I thought, no, she's crazy.
You believe Greg during all this back then.
Yeah.
And why do you think that was? Was he convincing?
Yeah, to a certain degree, yeah, I think so. And, it was definitely, even when it came to, his ex-wife, he definitely leveraged his audience to harass. I didn't harass anybody, but, that was definitely a tool of his. It was like, I have this following. I've got to sell them the most convincing story that these people are crazy and I'm not.
And what was it about Sarah's story, looking back now, that bothers you so much?
But how can you take advantage of somebody so young, like to get guardianship of them and then to turn that sexual there's just so many levels there that it's so messed up. And to think that, I think nearly all of these victims, the vast majority of the victims that we know of, have come from his audience.
Something I've seen myself through a personal experience dealing with an X community, the one that I often reference because I've only ever been in like one, I guess, community, is the fact that some content creators, no matter how small they may be, in my case, the content creator that I was actually in a community with was very, very small, still is, choose to use their viewers as weapons or leverage a narrative to help them avoid actually taking accountability for certain things that they have done in the past or things that they are doing recently or into like real time. There's a lot of truth and validity to what 𝕊ike is referencing here. And I've seen Onision, Greg, do that to a lot of his exes or a lot of people that he's trying to publicly smear. In the community that I was in about a year and a half ago, I'm seeing it now. There's a lot of lies being made about people that are just absolutely absurd and insane. There's no proof. There's no like physical evidence that actually stands by without undeniable fact. But then this person will then use his audience in live streams as leverage to go fight his battles for him or to just amp him up. And to me, it's absolutely, it's disgusting. It's disgusting behavior. It's also very cowardly. Something to note here, if you as a viewer are seeing this and you're getting involved with a certain community and you're seeing slander, harassment, false accusations with no physical evidence that can prove undeniable without a doubt in the court of law, defamation and slander are suable offenses and can be prosecuted in the court of law in a civil case. Document as much as you can if it's happening on a YouTube video. Click the video transcripts and copy the video transcripts as well as downloading the video. There are tutorials on YouTube itself on how to do such things via Mac and Windows.
We've talked to other moderators, Rag, for instance, Regina has talked to us and has been very involved in this investigation. They say the very same thing, that Greg was aware of this grooming, of this predatory behavior, but refused to do anything about what was going on in the forums.
Yeah, he didn't care. He didn't care about anything there. I remember there was an incident, I don't know what year it happened, but it was before, he had a contact section on his forum. So he would use this as like subject matter for his videos where he was saying, come ask me a question here and I'll reply to it in a video. And what actually led to that was somebody had private messaged him on the forum about something, I don't know what, but whoever it was came back saying that maybe he had said something inappropriate or something had gone down anyway in this private chat, and he had said, no more can people private message me. And so he opened up the contact section on the forum, and that was all he cared about, was that there was people coming there to ask him questions. He didn't care how the site was ran, who was on it. That was all.
A few moderators have spoken out, okay? Regina, medium rare, obviously 𝕊ike. And the thing is, this is very important to help prove the characteristics, and not only that, the actions behind the scenes of Greg and the things he ignores for the purpose that he ignores them. Here you're referenced that he ignores things because he wants content. He wanted specific content. Many of you clicking on this video have either seen the content, heard of the content that is being referenced here. In my opinion, this makes his channel very dangerous, not only for what he uses his channel for on a personal life level, but what other people go to his channel to see, the bad people, the people typing things into the search bar that are blocked by the algorithm, typing specific types of content out and searching for specific types of content. Now, if it's on YouTube and you can like slide under the rug with it and be sleazy and like try to be below the radar, that's like a golden ticket to these type of people. And that's also super freaking dangerous. And YouTube has got to stop turning their back on content creators. Very similar to Greg, aka Onision and Kai.
You saw this and you know, the forums are vastly unregulated, and you can certainly make the argument that it was his forum and he had some responsibility to, you know, maintain a safe environment for his fans who he knew were, you know, in many cases underage, female, potentially vulnerable. But what do you think about YouTube's responsibility here? He continues to stream. He continues to harass his accusers. He continues to engage in bizarre, arguably inappropriate harassment. What is, in your opinion, you hung out in this world for a little bit. What do you think YouTube's responsibilities are?
They have no defense for not removing him off the website. You know, there is no good reason. If somehow later on down the line it turned out all of this was fake, you know, they could send him an apology, reinstate his channels. Why not? You need to play it safe. You need to play it safe. Get rid of him.
What does it say that Patreon deplatformed him, but YouTube will not?
I don't know. And I don't even like that Patreon used the excuse of him doxing someone. It's, you know, be real. You got rid of him because he's... But at least they did get rid of him, you know.
Week by week, and over the last couple of months, so much that was never brought forth to the table has now been brought to the table due to these interviews. I want to suggest to you guys to go watch the original interview in its full length. Down below in the description, it is linked for you guys through Chris Hansen's channel. And remember, although it can be hard and it can be daunting, if you are out there and you have had an experience with these channels, it's absolutely okay when you're ready to come out and speak about your experience. There's so much support waiting for you. To anyone out there who hasn't been involved in any YouTube community, but sees something dangerous or sees something malicious or sees something on YouTube or any other site, if you see it and you're worried, say something. You never know who you could be saving from a traumatic experience. Thank you to everyone who has watched this video. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Do not forget, if you're new to the channel, to click that subscribe button and ring that bell so you're notified every time I post a video. If you could give the video a thumbs up, that would be super appreciated for me. And then also check out my description box. There's a lot of links that you might find interesting. There's links to past videos that are related to this topic. There's also a server Discord link if you'd like to talk with me and some of the people from my community. I also live stream 2 days a week, and there's a poll going on my community page to vote for which 2 days you prefer me to go live. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, morning, day, afternoon. Kiss the stars.